Welcome back, everyone, to episode 5 of Shootin The Shibby, everyone's favorite Sunday night shenanigans.
At least our favorite Sunday night shenanigans.
I'll be your super chill, totally not exhausted host, Spencer.
Top of the morning to everybody!
All right, Brian Septiceye.
I was thinking, like, what super obnoxious thing can I do?
Jacksepticeye, the guy that sounds like he snorted crushed up Lucky Charms marshmallows before all of his videos.
I mean, there's a problem with that?
You made that joke right earlier today.
I did, but it wasn't recorded, and so now I made it recording, so it's funny for the audience. I hate both of you.
That's what the audience sounds like right now.
It's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be a great episode, let me tell you.
Fantastic.
Also, Brian, that top of the morning to you is a literal block in the waveform.
We're just gonna have to put a beep. Just beep, morning to you.
I love unnecessary censorship.
Oh, me too.
It's the best.
Me too. Especially when they censor things that aren't curse words to make it sound like curse words.
Oh yeah, like have a
right. Hi, Brian. How the heck are you? And it's just, hi, Brian. How the meh are you?
But see, that's putting a part where it's like, how the fuck? It's like, how the fuck are you? But like, you got to put it into a spot where it's just like, oh, so I went down to the beep today and I bought some beep. And then, you know what? It's really great that they have a sale on beep. Like, put it in places where like...
So I was beeping my dog the other
day. Again.
All right.
But like, that point could be like, you could... I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be funny, like
it's just like if you just gotta think about it, man. You just gotta.
No, fuck off. If you put it in places where it's not gonna be a verb, it's funny if you change that up for like nouns.
See, yesterday I was at the beep.
Yeah, like that.
7 beeps ago.
Exactly.
By George, I think he's got it.
Comedy.
Woo!
Oh my god. So
speaking of comedy, you guys ever listen to Christopher Titus?
No, can't say that I have.
Oh, dude, check him out on Spotify. If you're ever in the mood for a really dark, really offensive guy to listen to, he's my boy.
I watched Louis C.K.'s 2017 stand-up again last night because I fucking love it.
I do too. It just sucks that he was just like, oh, what's up, my dick?
I mean, don't get me wrong. It was
this is my penis.
It was a messed up thing for him to do, but if you ever watched Louis or any of his stand-up, are you honestly surprised?
Yes, because I thought when he looked at that one newscaster in the eye and said, I'm going to masturbate about you later and there's nothing you do about it, I went, ha ha ha, this is humor. He's a comedian.
No.
That was serious.
He said, like, Louis, like, that's literally my life, is Louis, the show. He's like, that is 100% my life. So when he went on that show and said, I will think about you later and masturbate to you, I'm like, I'm not surprised. He probably did.
You know, Brian, sometimes I don't take comedians seriously. Okay? That's really what it comes down to, right? They're jokes. They're jokes. Everyone goes to laugh and have fun.
Yeah, but who was right in the end here?
I'm not saying you were wrong. I mean, he's better than Kevin Spacey, you know.
That's a fair point.
One of my favorite memes. He's holding a guitar. Let's learn how to finger a minor.
It's like a very, I don't know.
If you like that kind of humor, check out Chris Titus. I was listening to him. My rainy days were that much darker, but hilarious.
You should stroke his dick a little more, why don't you?
I kind of was like searching through the archives of my brain for like a reference that I can make funny, and then my brain's just like, nah, I got nothing. Just keep talking about Titus until you can figure something else out.
Speaking of like unnecessary censorship kind of stuff, there was a game I played, Brutal Legend. The Jack Black, like,
yes,
a battle game that turned into an RTS game out of nowhere. So at the very beginning of the game, they ask if you want to see like blood or not, and it's like, oh no, I don't want to see blood. Or like, yeah, let's see blood. But then they also ask you. It's funny because it's like they're like, oh, do you want us to like bleep out the curse words? It's like, no, let it rip, or like, yes, it's funny when you do that. Right, so it's like, I don't know. It was kind of a different way of being like, do you want the game censored or not? They kind of put it. I don't know. They gave an out to people who are like, if they couldn't have the censor on, it's like, oh, it's funnier if you bleep them. Instead of just being like, I don't want to hear curse words.
I actually agree with that, because if you watch South Park like on cable television and it's bleeped and whatnot, I find that funnier than if you get the DVD set or you just watch it on the internet and it's not censored. Like, it's way more funny when Cartman gets bleeped than just hearing him say fuck. I don't know why.
I noticed that with Family Guy. When I watch Family Guy on TV and they bleep out all the curse words, and I watch it on like Netflix or Hulu.
Right.
And they just it was funnier when like Peter fell down the stairs and it's like beep 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 beep, and like you actually watch and he's like fuck shit fuck
I was watching
fuck. And I'm just like, whoa, it's Now it just sounds angry.
I was watching there's a racetrack in Germany called the Nürburgring, and so they host just a bunch of like open race days. And etiquette, if you're going slower than the guy behind you, you're supposed to pull over to the right to let them pass. Like, it's not a race day. It's like we're all cruising on the track, and don't be a dick. So this one guy was driving, and there were these two motorcyclists that wouldn't get over, and he kept on trying to get around them because they're bikes, they can speed up, and like the bikes were teasing him hardcore, and he just starts I'm guessing he was cursing because he was speaking in German, which I don't know a lick of. It was already funny to listen to a German guy yelling, and then the beeping started because apparently he was saying curse words in German, and I was cracking up. So it's just even better when you don't know what they're even saying, they're angry as hell, and you hear beeping. Because you just know that they're just screaming profanities.
And, it's like, yeah, they're
that's a universal language. It's beeping. We all know what beeps are, except for Morse code. I never learned that one.
Yeah, all that matters is when you talk dirty to me. What fucking
what song were you guys going with?
Talk Dirty to Me by Jason Derulo.
Ew, you disappoint me. At the boardwalk, in the old man's car, I'm screaming for more. Talk dirty to me.
Yeah, I understand, but I said all that matters is when you talk dirty to me, not and baby talk dirty to me.
I just heard talk dirty to me, and then you didn't make a reference. What was that? Social Distort? No. Who was that?
Well, Real Big Fish covered it, but it was
Real Big Fish is an awesome cover, the acoustic one. Yes.
Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank.
Say Ferris?
No.
Female voice.
Poison,
did the original.
Poison,
possibly. I would double check it on the internet.
I think it might be Poison. I think it might be right.
To the Google machine.
I love Real Big Fish. I like how all he does is like his life sucks, so he just sings about it. It's like, hey, remember that one time I dated Gwen Stefani, and then she got really famous, and I'm stuck still being a ska band for the same high school nerds that I got into it with.
It is Poison.
It is Poison. Cool. And that's Real Big Fish. I showed my mom Real Big Fish one time, or I was just listening, and she was just like, why does this guy sound so pathetic? I never even thought about it. I always just thought of it as funny music. I was like, well, yeah, I guess if all you do is sing and complain all the time, it comes off as pathetic.
That's literally Real Big Fish's like gimmick. It's just they just
ska between depression and complaining. That's kind of just ska. It sounds really happy,
like super happy sounding sad music.
Yeah, as Josh of Backyard Superheroes,
the Go Kill Yourself party anthem.
Right. It's emo with a smile.
It's true though.
It is. But I love it.
Me too. I can't wait for Streetlight coming up.
Yeah, May 5th.
May 5th. And I got into the secret show May 4th also.
Oh, yeah. I hate you so much.
Yeah.
I am incredibly jealous.
You gotta love the Reddit mobile. And also having friends that use Reddit, because I don't.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I don't think you use Reddit.
See, that's the thing. I do use Reddit, and I saw people posting, oh, did you get tickets to the secret show? I'm like, secret show? What? They're like, yeah, it's all sold out. I'm like,
and it's in my favorite town, Asbury Park, at the House of Independence. I'm excited. I'm so excited. Hey man, I'll send you guys all the Snapchats. How about that?
How about
you know what? I'll take
balls?
Look at how much fun I'm having.
I'm having fun, and you're not.
That's essentially what Snapchat is.
Oh yeah,
it's just showing people the fun things you're
doing. That's
what
social media is.
Oh, of course.
You live in your world of depression, and you film all the peak happiness moments to make it look like your world is just so happy to everyone else.
Yeah, thanks every depressing grown up ever.
I mean,
social media is ruining this country.
I'm just telling it like it is. Goddamn avocado toast millennials and their iPhones. Tide Pod.
I fucking love the whole like
avocado toast thing. It was one article. It was one article. This guy just wrote an article. The reason why millennials can't buy houses is because we spend money on stupid stuff like iPhones and avocado toast. And it just, that article went viral. Because I mean, like, there's some stupid things I hear.
It's like, I get the point he was trying to make, but like, really, you're gonna go with the avocado toast?
Yeah, all right, Gramps, enjoy your cholesterol-filled buttered toast. Dick.
Fucking avocados. I don't even like avocados.
I don't. I think guacamole's disgusting. That's one of us.
Someone forgot to turn off their phone.
Fucking millennials.
Damn millennials, always on your phone.
So at my firehouse, I took a picture because all the old guys were on their phones. And I was like, God damn millennials, always on their phones. And it's all like the 65-year-old retired members.
That's awesome.
Sticking it to the man. Take that, man. Dad.
Someone there was like a photo of like what it was back like way back when. They took a photo like people on the bus, and it was just like everybody was just there reading the newspaper, and it was just like,
goddamn baby boomers always on their newspapers,
like, just reading the newspaper, not talking to other people. What's the fucking difference now that it's on a phone?
Yeah.
Like, well, it's electronic.
It's elderly people complaining about the same shit that they did, but in a different way.
But it's different and scary, and they don't understand it.
No, I will say, I mean, the big difference between the newspaper and the phone also is, like, the phone gives you a dopamine release when you get a like on your Facebook status, where you don't get a dopamine release by completing the crosswords at the back of the newspaper.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. I mean,
complete that Sudoku section. Oh, man.
Was Sudoku even in America during the baby boomer generation?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I know it was probably in Japan or wherever that word.
I'm pretty sure that game is.
I'm cultured.
But yeah, I don't know when it came to the paper.
Indeed.
Are you guys any good at Sudoku?
No, I actually don't think I've ever played it or tried it.
I'm awful.
I used to play it a decent amount, but I don't play it anymore.
I'm really good at solitaire.
I do love some solitaire.
I'm really good at solitaire.
I don't think I've ever won solitaire.
Really? It's really easy.
I know it's easy. I just never really like gave a shit enough to like actually go through a game.
That's the whole point of solitaire, though, is you're by yourself and you're supposed to just try your best.
Yeah, but now that I have like
the name solitaire.
I know, but I have like the whole fucking world in front of me now, so it's like I don't have to sit there and play solitaire anymore.
I think it's the best when it's like I also see, not trying to bash old people, but I see them playing solitaire on their iPhones, and it's just like I'm just like, well, isn't this all come full circle?
The only way I'll actually play solitaire now is if like. There's like I don't know if they have solitaire. I mean, you see they have them on the phones and iPads now, but like when you finish them, do they still do the card thing where they bounce around and whatnot?
I don't know. I haven't played solitaire since Windows 95.
What was that game that came with like Windows 95? You're in like a maze.
Ski one?
No,
Minesweeper?
No, you're in the maze and you like open up doors or whatever. You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Windows 95?
I think
it's a 3D game.
That was just
isn't
a screensaver, wasn't it?
No.
There was the screensaver. No. I know what you're talking about.
No, there was a game.
Maybe Brian thought it was a game, but it was actually just a screensaver.
No. There was a game where it came like prepackaged in. It might have been like 95 or 98, where it was like really shitty looking, and it was just like moved around. You moved around like a box area, and you just like opened doors and tried to find.
Was it 3D rendered, or is it like?
No, it was like 2D, like really shitty looking.
Oh yes. And whenever you die, the guy went bummer.
I think so. Yes.
Yes.
See, I'm not fucking crazy.
Well, I mean, let's not take it too far.
I'm not crazy. I'm just a little unwell.
I know.
Right now, you can't tell.
Can't tell.
But stay a while, and maybe then you'll see a different side of me.
I'm kind of mad that just happened.
So yeah,
I'm not. I fucking love Matchbox 20.
Glad the 90s are alive and well. Bringing back Windows 95 or was that 2000s?
I think that song came out in the 2000s, sir.
I always confuse the early 2000s music with the 90s because I just remember my childhood.
Yeah,
teenagerhood as the 90s.
I actually had a realization moment the other day. Not the other day. This was like years ago, where a lot of the stuff I liked, I started looking up like when it came out, and a lot of it came out early 2000s.
Yep.
I'm like, wow.
Or like 1999, maybe.
Or like the latest would be like 98 or like 99. I'm like, wow, the majority of the good stuff I enjoyed kind of came out later.
It came out in the 90s. If it came out in 99, it's technically a 90s thing. But is it really?
Would you consider a kid who was born in 1999 to be a 90s kid?
No, because they didn't experience anything that's the 90s. They were
anything
one.
in 1999, I would not consider that 90s.
So you don't consider SpongeBob a 90s thing?
Nope. Not at all.
1999. I do miss the old hand-drawn SpongeBob, or the more hand-drawn looking one. I don't know when they went to computers. We were all...
I'm fine with how it looks on computers. It's just the jokes they do now are... I don't know. I feel like
they aren't quite on the tier of our superior intellect.
No, because it's just like you look at the jokes back then, and it's like I don't know. They kind of like set them up better. The flow is better. When the problem is a lot of like cartoon shows
Absolutely.
now. And this isn't me shitting on like cartoon shows now because we had shows back then that also just really sucked. But there's cartoon shows now where literally it's just like. Just incoherent screaming half the time.
Yeah.
And there's no really like kind of like setup to the jokes or like a flow of the jokes, or they kind of just fit with the show. They just do the joke for the sake of doing the joke.
Talking about modern cartoons or modern let's players, because I can't tell. Same thing.
Yes, but that's something completely different. I'm talking about cartoons. I'm talking about cartoons specifically right now. That's a completely different thing. But
specifically, Atlantic.
What was it? No, actually, no. My biggest gripe with that is the original Disney programming shows. Like,
Hannah Montana? Whatever happened to that one?
it was around the Hannah Montana era. It was like that. Ant Farm was a show where they did that.
What was the one with Perry the Platypus?
That was Phineas and Ferb.
Phineas and Ferb.
No, but that show,
Great show.
I was like, that show was actually a good
Phenomenal
show.
show.
I was
Fantastic
like,
show.
that show was actually good. But no, there was a lot of like the live action Disney shows from like late 2000s, early 2010s. Really had this thing where like they just had no point to the show. It was just these characters exist in this world and they make jokes for the sake of making a joke instead of being like, you know, this joke is funny because of stuff that happens in the world of this thing, or like
So it's
it
like
relates
me.
to like who they are. Because it's like, you know, like Cat Dog had a lot of funny jokes because they're a cat and a dog together with, you know, a little mouse guy there.
Their
It's just
wacky
like,
adventure.
and it's just, you know, but it relates because they're animals, and it like that stuff relates there. When you watch like a lot of the, like other cartoons or like the Disney program show talking about, they'll just like be like, I think I talked about this before in the podcast, maybe a different episode, where they'll be like, well, I'll be a monkey's uncle, and they're like, actually, I do have an uncle monkey. His name's Terrence.
And then there's like crowd laughter, and it goes
Yeah, and that's
into
like
a
crowd laughter,
song,
and they're just
all
like
dancing around.
Terrence. It's just like, what the fuck is this even? I think I actually talked about this because I said I was watching Fuller House with Corinne.
Yes.
And they had the whole thing. I was like predicting the thing, which they dropped like the ring in the pond and the fish ate it. And it's like, I found the ring and also some car keys. And I'm like, someone's gonna walk over and say it's their car keys. Yep, there it is. Someone walked over and said it was their car keys. And I'm just like, some shows just do that. And I'm just like,
See, did it feel that way though? Because back in the days when that was the mainstream, like there's like vintage humor. Like we can look back, like every time we do the dun, 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 wow, like that's an old noise that at the time was fresh and new.
Mm-hmm.
So did Fuller House do the vintage humor, which is now not fresh and new, so you knew it was going to happen? Like think about back in the day, back when moving pictures were a crazy thing, and the thought of having I'm just saying, like. Back when, wow, I wonder if he will find his keys. Like that was like a holy shit, he found his keys. Like that actually shocked people.
oh yeah, it actually shocked people because they had nothing else.
Right.
Correct.
So old stuff like that's like vintage, and it's like that was like revolutionary for the time.
well, that's what Fuller House was. It was like the resto
I called
mod.
like for stuff like that. I call it the Beatles effect because the Beatles were essentially a glorified boy band. That's all they were. You know, they like. I'm not comparing
Quitting
Beatles
the
to Justin
podcast.
Bieber,
I was kidding.
but you know, like if
They have the same haircut.
Justin Bieber came out around the same time as the Beatles and doing the same shit, he'd be thought as like this revolutionary music god. Because he essentially did the same bullshit that the Beatles did back then. That's why when people are like, "Oh, the Beatles so great," I'm like, "They're not that great. They're
And
good."
the Beatles were
but-
also discovered on YouTube, so this would all make sense.
But literally, like somebody took those statistics where they said the word love like 700 times in their songs.
Dude, all songs are about
All you
love.
need is love.
Love is all you need. No,
Love is
like
all you need. But it's just like
Love, love, love.
I don't know, because like there's songs and there's singers out there where they make, you know, songs that actually have like time and effort put into them, and then you like people are like, oh, but you know, your music nowadays isn't anything like the Beatles, and it's just like love, 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 like right, lyrical genius is right there. Jesus Christ.
fucking Raffi.
And then you listen to
ring,
like
ring,
the
ring, banana phone.
yeah, or you listen to I don't know if it was like the White Album they made where they were just on so much fucking
I
drugs.
love the White
And
Album.
it's just like, I don't know if it's the White Album or another album they made where it's just
No, it's the White
incoherent
Album.
noises.
That's
Yeah.
And I'm
number
just
9?
like-
Number 9.
What the fuck am I listening to?
You're
Yeah.
listening to a genius.
Radiohead did that shit. Everyone talks about great Radiohead.
See, I
is-
fucking hate Radiohead.
And I'm like-
I hate them with a passion.
Don't get me
You're a
wrong.
creep.
And I
All
don't
right, you're
know
a
why.
loser.
I am a loser.
They like, and also
What am I doing here?
I don't know. This was originally
don't
supposed to be
belong
our
here.
podcast, and then you came along, but you got the equipment, so I guess it's fine.
But no,
You're not wrong.
Kidding, I love you. Heart in the air with my fingers because you can't see what I'm doing.
no, but so what was I saying? Like I like some songs by Radiohead, and I also hate when fans of stuff where they're like, "Oh, you call yourself a Radiohead fan?
Radiohead fan?
Radiohead fan?
That's what they call their fans, the radio hams.
The radio hams,
hams.
steamed radio hams."
It's like Bare Naked Ladies, how their fans throw mac and cheese on the thing. They throw fully baked like Christmas hams.
Of course.
I still liked when I went to see the Waffle Stompers and they were handing out frozen waffles. Everyone was throwing them. I ate mine. I was hungry.
That's fair. But no, I also hate when fans of, because I saw one today where it was like, oh, are you a Misfits fan? Name a song other than
Last Caress.
No, it was some
Hybrid
Hell?
Moments.
no.
I ain't no goddamn son of a bitch.
No, I'm trying to remember what it was.
I probably won't
Metallica
know.
actually covered Last Caress, by the way.
That's phenomenal, and I
gotta
will
fucking
look that
look-
up
I gotta
later.
look it up.
I'll play it for
but
you
like
later.
say for Radiohead, like Radiohead fans would be like, oh, name a song from them besides Creep. It's like, listen, let me fucking enjoy what I want, all right? I don't need a goddamn quiz every time I want to be like,
No, I'm so elitist.
or it's
I'm
like,
the only one who's
I'm a
allowed to
true
like this
fucking
band.
Radiohead fan. I listen to their bullshit album where it's literally just the lead singer moaning into a mic while the guy has sex with a computer, and it just makes dial-up sounds half the
I
time.
can actually see Radiohead
mean-
putting out an album called the Bullshit Album, and it'd be
And they do it, and it'd be like,
it'd be
this isn't for the
genius.
masses of people listening to bullshit music that's all
You know, that's what
blah.
it is about, like, the art houses and who rates these movies and shows and music to get these awards. Like, I forgot if I mentioned it on the podcast also, but screw it. I finally went to a movie that I was like, you know, I'm going to
Holiday
go
in
see a
Cambodia.
movie. What's up? Holiday in Cambodia. That
was the
is
song.
not the Misfits.
Oh, is it
That's
not?
the Dead Kennedys.
Oh.
That's right.
I don't-
That's the
I
only
don't-
It's a holiday. Yeah, that's how much of a
gonna say,
Misfits fan you are.
I don't listen to either of them, so I don't give a shit.
If you like Real Big Fish, name one.
Because I was like,
If you like Real Big Fish, name one song besides Superman.
okay, cool. I don't listen to either of them, so he posted this. I was like,
That's
don't be a
That's a
dick.
shame.
Okay, but no, okay, then that's he's just being a dick.
But see, so I saw this movie. It was the 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. And so, spoiler alert for listeners who actually want to see this abomination of a movie. It was
Which movie?
the 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
You were telling me about this.
Yes, it was. It started off.
I heard it was a good movie.
It was not
critically.
It was not.
Okay.
It was just not. It wasn't a bad movie. It was just like something that you just watched to let time go by. I would say acting was great. The scenery was great. Like everybody that did the things that they're supposed to make the movie did great, except for the people that wrote it.
It was a good movie.
It's
and
not.
it was well done.
It was a good
just
movie.
wasn't
It was
good
just a
movie.
shame it
was
was ever filmed.
How about great production, terrible movie? Well, it was just like so. I'm good. Do you guys have any interest in
I
ever seeing?
don't.
You've
Cool.
already told me about it. So.
Awesome. This is true. I ruin movies for you. You ruin video games for me. This is how we work.
That's
But-
essentially it.
So it was like the main protagonist, their daughter gets murdered and raped and stuff, and so she's pissed because
You know,
the
the
local cops. Well, this is just how the movie
Casual
starts off.
Sunday, raped, murdered, brought back to life.
Raped, murdered, and stuff.
Good old Ebbing, Missouri. Come visit.
Started up her own Starbucks.
Make it a 4th billboard.
Can I want to talk about my favorite fucking billboard ever that is on the Turnpike. They changed it recently, and it makes me very upset. It's a billboard. It just says
You should
like
pay the rent to keep it going. Then
it just says like DWI, theft, like other crimes. Learn how to win, and it's just a guy with his hands up like he's about to fight somebody, and he just has like a face on it. It's just like
things are gonna
what
change.
the
I can feel it.
fuck kind of face. I think I have it on my phone. Oh my god, it's the best. But he changed it recently where he actually has boxing gloves, and he's like a little more coherent face, but it's still like what?
Dude, my
the hell
man's just
kind of
moving
face
up. He
you
went
doing?
from just being a street fighter to now he's a professional boxer. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, he actually
That's the
got, like he
American
got
dream.
boxing gloves on it, and he's like, now I'm ready to fight.
No, so this movie starts off like it's one of those things where it just seemingly gets more depressing to come off as artistic, when it's really
Okay.
just one of those things like. It's almost like what was the book series? A series of unfortunate events.
Mm-hmm.
But that at least was oh, that face.
I found the picture. Of
Phenomenal.
it. We'll post it in like a link dump somewhere.
We'll
or
probably
something.
do
I
It
don't
looks
know.
like he's in the middle of saying, like, is this good enough?
But it just, I love the learn how to win, and it's like a DWIs, theft, like stealing cars, murder, learn how to win. And it's like, why?
Better call Saul.
Essentially, he's like a real, like, Better Call Saul, except not charming at all.
So of course the head policeman of this little town comes to the door and is just like, bro, can you take down those signs? And she's like, where's my daughter? It's like, we're working on it. And she's just
trapped in the billboard.
And it's just it's just a back and forth of like, will you take it down? No, I want to know where my daughter is, or something like that.
Take down the billboard. Where's my daughter? Somebody forgot the ice cream, and prom's tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, like I said, depression train is rolling. The head policeman has terminal cancer. I shit you not. I'm not making a. I mean, it was a few months ago, and I have children's Alzheimer's, for lack of a better term. So maybe I'm forgetting a few bits and pieces here, but. The cop has terminal cancer and ends up, and like everybody loves the cop in this town. This is a very Blue Lives Matter town, and the cop ends up committing suicide because he doesn't want to deal with the pain of dying of
losing
cancer.
a billboard. Yeah.
So now everybody thinks the cop commits suicide because this woman is committing slander as seen by the town, and people are like, as seen on TV, as actually was seen in a movie theater. So she people are coming to her, and like she doesn't even feel safe in the town. She helps run like a gift shop because people visit Ebbing, Missouri for the gift shop.
Of course.
Obviously.
I gotta show you my Ebbing, Missouri fucking collection.
But she gets pissed at the cops at like everything that's going on, and she throws Molotov cocktails into the police station.
Yummy.
And burns it. She calls the police station, makes sure nobody's there. There's someone there. He has headphones on. How convenient. So she throws Molotov cocktails. He ends up jumping through the windows and suffers severe burns because Molotov cocktail, and.
As is tradition.
And so the cop that got burned was a racist, of course, because modern politics in movies, and he ends up turning good, and he's out at a bar, and he overhears this conversation of two people, and like this guy's talking about how he killed and raped somebody, and like it's pretty much fit to the T of what they were looking for. And this wasn't sort of one of those things where maybe you're thinking about the other person that was brutally murdered and raped. Like it was one of those things where like this clearly fit the description. This has to be the guy. So the officer gets into purposely gets into a fight. So this guy punches him, and now he has his DNA. He like rips his hair out. They check the DNA. Like this could be a crucial moment that ties the whole movie together, and that's not the guy. That's not the guy. Nope. Depression train. Keep it rolling. Toot toot. This motherfucker's going for gold. So the movie ends with this charred up cop that just suffered burns and got the shit kicked out of him, with the angry mother of deceased child going to this guy's place. Like going to this guy's address. We don't know why. I guess that's the cliffhanger. We don't know why they're going there, even though the DNA proved that he's not the guy. And it ended with the cop with her admitting to the cop that she's the one that burned him and the police station. He's like, "Of course I knew that," and that's how it ends. Like it was like one of those closure moments because he's like, I don't care about the severe burns or destroying public property or anything like that. It's okay. You're angry. I get that. This is okay.
So then,
they're going to chase after the guy that didn't do it.
So then, as she tells them, he's like, "Of course I knew that," and then they kind of like pan back as that's happening. They go outside and they see the billboard, and it just says like.
The bill
nearest McDonald's exit 23A.
My bad.
I forget because I could have sworn
visit the gift shop.
I called it. It was going to be nominated for what is it?
Learn how
Emmys
to win
or movies or something.
Golden
Globes.
Globe.
Academy Awards.
Academy Awards.
Yes.
They're all the same bullshit.
Yeah, it's all overpriced, and everyone paid for their
it got
awards.
nominated for an Academy Award. I fucking called it. Because it's depression porn. It's depression porn that's supposed to come off as artistic. And
that's not your favorite genre? You don't spank it to every night, or?
Yeah, I love crying while I whack off. No.
I mean, lube.
That's why.
That's called Days That End with Y with me.
Try to get my dick cry.
If you don't use your own tears as lube, you're doing it wrong.
Extra salty.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so so like that's why like I'm like how many people watched that movie, and because it was a nominated movie, they think they're all like
nominated.
Listen, man, 10 hours of sleep for the entire weekend, and I'm running on empty. There's a song there too, and of course, brain can't find it, but. It just seems like these movies are just purposely built for the nominations. Like they're not. It's not artistic. It's just mass produced for these nominations. It's just like or maybe I'm an uncultured swine who just missed the entire point of the movie.
Jackson Browne.
Jackson Browne. Oh,
Running on Empty.
There we go. Thank you. That's that. We're back to that moment. Yes. No, but it's just one of those. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a judgmental prick. Well, I mean, I am. So there's that. But it's just like, it's just. Even when I was little, I would never go to the movie theaters if the movie was winning. Like, I never watched Forrest Gump because everyone like loved it so much.
Oh, I love Forrest Gump.
Oh, I love it too.
Such a great movie.
But I saw it like 10 years after it came out.
Oh.
But only because everyone loved it, and I was like, well, I seem to like all the movies everyone hates, so I'm not going to go see that one.
No,
Maybe I'm the elite person. I have the superior opinions because that's a thing. Yeah. Did you ever think about it like that?
No. just no.
But
I was gonna say I'm kind of like that with some games as well. Like, I hate Final Fantasy VII. Fuck that game.
I played the beginning of it,
But a lot of people like that game.
random
I've
battles.
only ever played the Final Fantasy for NES, and it's the only Final Fantasy I've ever played in my life.
1 or 2.
I have no fucking clue.
The one on NES.
There was 2.
It's
Well-
the one on NES.
Great. Actually, technically there was 3, but that's a whole nother fucking story. I'm gonna guess it was probably Final Fantasy 1.
Probably. Yeah, I think it was just called Final Fantasy.
Okay, yeah, that was Final Fantasy 1. There were 7. That's where Cloud Strife is from, with the big blonde hair and the giant sword. Buster Sword.
Buster Sword, yep.
Buster Sword, yeah. I hate that game. I think all the characters are whiny little babies. Everything about it. I think Cloud is just a man-child.
That's what I thought of Catcher in the Rye. Holden Caulfield just fucking whining all the time. Life is pretty good, but I complain a lot. I mean, that was me in middle school, but
I was like, so everybody in middle school ever? Everybody with an emo phase?
but that was another thing. Like, why is this book so highly acclaimed? What did it do that was so groundbreaking? And of course, people that study literature can come and just broadside me with the book, metaphorically and probably physically. But it's just one of those like. It was not good. Yes, please. I would love to have an Old Faithful, good old Miller Lite. Do you want one?
I'm
gonna
gonna
go
see
for one of the bottles?
I'm gonna see for what I have in my fridge exactly. 1 second.
Sure. Holding for Brian to go look for beer in the middle of the podcast. So take your time.
I will.
That's right. I put a little marker there, so in case we need to delete this part,
We don't need to delete. Listen, I would love to do this live one day, so I think we should treat every episode like it's a live episode.
That is
can't
true.
Can't run and delete it.
That is very true.
So you were at Rutgers today. What was going on over there?
It was senior recognition night for Rutgers basketball. My brother's
Did
part of
your
the
brother
pep band and all that kind of
Did
stuff.
Damn, Skippy,
recognize
Pep
for it?
Band
He did.
Pride.
He did, but they pronounced his last name wrong.
Giaquinto.
Wait, I want to try to predict how they spelled it.
Also, he wrote it phonetically.
Did he put Q in there somewhere? Because that would throw me off too.
Giaquinto.
Giaquinto.
It was.
Sounds like a Native American tribe.
Yeah, Giaquinto sounds like I'm part of the Giaquinto tribe.
It was something along the lines
I'm
of
a
like
native to New Brunswick.
Jaquintus.
Jaquintus.
The lost city of Jaquintus.
I'm your Venus. I'm Jaquintus. so fast.
Your desire.
Come on down to Jaquintus.
We got a lot of Jaquintus here. But yeah, Jaquintus.
Sounds like a rash you'd get in yourself. He's like, it's got a bad case of Jaquintus.
Maybe that's what's going on with my toe. I got a big Jaquintus going on. I got an ingrown to Jaquintus.
Doctor, it's worse than we thought. What's the diagnosis? It's Jaquintus. My God.
Jesus Christ.
Fishing over there?
How
Bob?
was the pep band over there? Are they as intense as we were in Ryder?
They are much better and much more talented.
That's fake news. There's no way. There's no problem. No.
Actually, I did go back to Ryder for a basketball game a few weeks ago.
I know. You sent my award to me. I got the highest award you could receive at Ryder University. I have been immortalized over the women's bathroom on the wall playing my trumpet. That is
It's beautiful. It really is a thing of beauty.
Because it's just a good photo to have as one of those like.
Well, I was decked out.
Like
my face was painted. I had Ryder up my arm.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like
Ryder up my arm. Yeah. Ryder puns. Hey.
I hardly even knew her.
Whoa!
If I had $1 for every time I'd said that joke, I'd still be able to pay off my tuitions because they were too high. Depression porn.
But
no, it's like
I nominate your joke for an Academy Award.
Thanks.
I accept the billboard too.
I accept
Three
all
of them to be safe.
Right?
I accept all of them, but I'll be sad about it. But no, like it's like if I didn't know Spencer, it's like, wow, that's just like a really good shot of like, you know, someone playing the trumpet. You know, he's got the paint on, he's got the bandana around the trumpet. Like, it looks really cool. But since I know who Spencer is, I'm just like, look at Spencer over the
Fucking
women.
nerd.
Look at the nerd over the women's bathroom. You fucking loser.
But they do have a band again.
They do.
They do.
I heard they brought it back. We got the band back together.
Well, for the longest time, they actually essentially banned the band. Like, after I graduated,
Well, also I
kicked the band
remember
out.
that because they sounded so awful because they had like 10 of one instrument and then like one of like the rest, and it just sounded bad. Like the people who are playing weren't bad at playing
Amen.
it. It's just like
The Outlaws
You know.
made it work with the guitar army.
they had a drummer who was dressed like a hot dog.
Does he go to ska shows? It sounds like
It
a
sounds
guy,
like something a ska
a
thing.
drummer
would do.
in a pep band that wears a hot dog suit. I bet you he goes to ska
Just
shows.
an avocado playing triangle.
that's the problem with millennials these days. The fucking avocado playing triangles.
Avocado triangles.
But yeah, because it was a
Spending
guy,
all their money on avocado suits and triangles.
it was a guy in a hot dog suit playing the drums, and then a guy dressed as an avocado playing the triangle. It was,
classic.
and then there was a guy who graduated a couple years before me who would always try to like distract the free throw shooters. So going back to that, Spencer's the original, but we were considered the chicken men.
Yes.
The
cockmen, if you will.
The cockmen, yes. During foul shots, we would wave a rubber chicken and try to distract the other team's
Foul shot.
free throws.
I got foul shit.
I was like foul shot chicken.
You know, I went to Ryder for 4 years, and I never thought about making that joke. That's kind of genius.
You know, there's
Good for
probably
you.
people
Seriously?
realizing why you guys were
Foul
so
shot.
great because they were like, they got the chickens for the foul shots. Oh, that's genius.
You know what? That,
And meanwhile,
Just there because you're like, chicken.
I got in trouble.
that was me. I legitimately thought you were doing that because they were foul shots.
Nope, I'm just nope. I'm just dumb. I'm just dumb. I just thought it was fun, and then I got in trouble because I flossed the rubber chicken between my crotch.
And that's when I took over being the chicken man.
Pretty much.
Like, there was one day that you
You made
weren't
it
there.
your own, though. You made it
did.
your own.
Well, I mean, there's nothing funnier than a fat guy waving a rubber chicken at a woman shooting free throws. Like, let's face it.
Dude, women's games were my favorite. I'm
Looking
not,
from the outside, that
That's
sounds
cool.
terrible.
Oh, it does. The best part is I'd be
Fat
like,
man jerking his chicken off to the woman taking free throws.
fat man throwing his waving his cock around. You know?
That sounds like a Florida Man title. Florida man jerking his chicken at woman shooting free throws.
See, my favorite thing with the women's games are, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the women's games were more fun to watch than the men's games. They got fucking nasty people in the women's teams, but it was even better that most of the audience was there to get extra credit because the coaches or the affiliates of the team would give extra credit to the students that go there.
Mm-hmm.
So I would make sure to ramp up my excitement to 11 just to piss off
Turn it up
everybody.
to 11.
Pretty much. So what I would do is, for those who aren't band nerds and have a life, a sousaphone is the wraparound tuba. I would take the bell, the flared out
Oompa
part.
Loompa thing.
Yes, the Oompa Loompa thing. I would take the bell, the part that flares out, off, so I could yell into it and amplify. And so I would do a Ryder spell chant. Give me an R. Crickets. Give me an I. Even the crickets aren't doing anything now. Give me the D. And like that, and it was just, I would just look over, and there's just people like staring at me, like half staring, like I'm watching you because I hate you, but I don't want to make eye contact, so you don't notice me.
It's like, you
And
loser.
It was the best. I think sometimes I was more amped up at the women's games to piss off people than I was
yeah.
at the men's games.
I think my crowning achievement is one of the years we were doing the coaches show, and the radio station that I was working with at Ryder was the host of the coaches show, and I was the engineer.
Right.
Well, I went one day, and the coach turns to me and goes, "You know what, Bob? Put your headset on. Come here for a second." He goes, "Bob, I wanted to personally thank you for keeping the other team to 0% from the line in the first half." They're like, "Bob, this is 100% you," and they're like, "It couldn't be anyone else on our team because it was just them and the line and the ball. Because of you and because of you distracting them, they didn't hit a single free throw, and I wanted to thank you."
I'm actually kind of surprised that we are allowed to distract people. I mean, it's fair game, so that means it isn't though, but it's legal, so it was fun to do. But I'm surprised that they would allow.
That's what home field advantage is all about.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But college is all about that equality of life now. So
Well, now. Back then, it was cool.
we have to make the visiting team feel welcome.
I have a good one about that. So my high school team, we were fairly decent. I mean, for a bunch of skinny white kids, white Irish kids, we were really good at basketball. But we were also known as the rowdiest bunch in New York Section 1A.
The Irish Rowdy Bunch.
We people hated to come to us.
A lot of Guinness.
I used to assistant
Irish
coach.
Republican Army.
I used to be the assistant coach. So whenever we did away games, I filmed so that we could have like film of the team or whatever. And I was filming one time, and I was behind. It was we went to Suffern to play them, and I was behind one of the moms of the team, and she was like, "Oh, play those fucking Pearl River people." And he's like, "Oh, what's wrong with them?" She's like, "Their fans are so disrespectful." And it's just because it's like the fans would come to every single game. We had a big flag, and like
that's awesome.
Whenever like the other team would come out, they'd be like, "All right, starting at point guard, number 6. Terrence Newman sucks." And it was like every single person. And whenever somebody fouled out, they did whenever he took a step, they go left, right, and then they do and sit.
Or the dribble, the bounce. Yeah. What do I do? Bounce. Dude, you should have been in Pep Band and Ryder.
Dude,
man.
there was one kid who was just known for being a fucking idiot, but he was so good at sports, so he was in every sports. So whenever he got the ball, they would go 2 + 2, 2 + 2, 2 + 2, and like it's like he would pass the ball, they would stop, goes back to him, 2 + 2, 2 + 2. It was the funniest. It's like if you get the ball quick and pass it, like 2 And they were all in sync. They knew everything perfectly. Now they did one thing that even I wasn't with them because I was the assistant coach. They did one thing one time where I was just like, ooh, they probably shouldn't have done that.
I had a few moments of that in Ryder too.
Oh yes.
We were playing
as have I.
Probably shouldn't even discuss it. Oh yeah, especially after your breakup, the one chicken. Probably shouldn't bring it up for this show.
Well, let's talk after because I'm trying to remember what that one is.
Oh, I'll never forget it.
Bob, I'm going to ask you to make a marker because we're going to find out afterwards if this story can make the podcast. So we were doing one time where we were playing a team who they were called NIAC. And
oh, no.
The acronym for them was the New York Academy of Colored Kids. Really? Yep. No, that's what we gave them.
Oh.
So we were playing them, and the fan section decided...
Didn't my ex go there?
Maybe. I don't know.
I remember the two of you talking about that all the time. Anyway, continue.
Are you talking about Tony?
Yes.
Nanny White.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's right. Nanny White.
Yeah, Nanny White, because they were all just douchebag white kids. So we were
Race matters.
We were playing against NIAC, and the fan section decided to sing the song "In the Jungle."
Oh.
When they came out.
See, it's okay to put in the podcast because that's how we reacted to that.
And I could just say that we had to have like teachers had to volunteer to be like like the
barrier
watching over everybody to make sure like nobody decides to do anything too crazy.
Oh my goodness.
The day they decided to do that was the Spanish teacher, Mr. Wolf or Senor Lobo, was doing it, and he was a very multicultural man. So when they started singing "In the Jungle," I've never seen a more happy-go-lucky guy be the most angry I have ever seen someone in the world. And I had him for Spanish the very next day, and he came in, and because he said to every class about how disappointed he was in everyone, because he was like, "That is
Not
messed
mad,
up."
I'm just disappointed.
No, he goes, "No, I'm mad. That was messed up. That was racist," and that just gave us a whole lecture, like the entire class. And I'm just sitting there like,
I'm
with you, dude, but
you earned that one. That one was earned.
No, I'm saying that one was earned. But we were playing another team. Peak Skill. We were playing Peak Skill, and they were known to be like very, very good. They whooped our ass last time we played them.
The peak of their game?
Yeah.
The peak skill?
Yeah, they peaked the skill of the game. Last time we played them, we lost like 92 to like 30. Like the last time we played them. So we played them again, and we ended up winning. But the fan section was doing the usual rowdiness, and they'd start doing the left right to somebody, and the kid who actually they did it to, he turned around, looked at the crowd, started screaming, and actually tried to run over and fight the entire fucking fan section.
That's aggressive.
So like he ran over.
I respect that.
Like,
power move.
But because he was like the point guard or whatever, and so he's like a smaller kid, so like his center comes over and like grabs him and like pulls him away. But then you see like the entire like our fan base is going fucking crazy or whatever, and it's like we're clearly about to win, so they just go start the bus, and this dude literally throws his chair onto the fucking court. He's screaming, he's going nuts. He gets ejected from the game. Their fan section ended up getting ejected from the game because they started screaming profanities back, so they eject the entire fan section. So as soon as that happens, of course, on cue, in sync, na 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 na, hey, goodbye. And I'm just like,
sports brings out the best in everybody.
I was like, this is insane.
It does.
So we played that suffering team again where the mom got pissed off, and whenever we did home games, I gave it to the AV kids to film it. Because,
nerds.
Yeah, fucking nerds. I gave it to them so that I can do opposing team shots. Like I took stats on those, like where they shot it, did they make it, like who took the shot, whatever, all that. So I would always get the video back from them, and I looked at the video, and so they're up like in the top like away parent section of the bleachers. So, like we had like home student fans, and then like home parents, and then away parents, away students.
Oh, you only had one side of the gym.
No, they had the two sides.
Oh, wow, okay.
But they had like 4 sections. So it's like the parents obviously sat on like one side, while like the two fan bases sat on like the closer to the entrance side, so they can yell at each other and the parents can be excluded. So since the least space you would have and the least like talking or noise would always be in the away parent section.
See, a lot of the schools that I do games at have their student section right where the broadcast is,
of course,
which is never a good idea.
But they want
or the best idea.
Yeah, especially when you have F this, F in you, F and N, that kind of stuff.
You see the rowdy crowd, and that's what they want on TV.
See, it's college sports. Why is it not?
I'm talking for high school, the games that I do.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So
wow.
I go back to watch the video, and apparently before the game, that same mother who was getting very angry at the suffering game 1-2 when they came to play us, she takes the camera from the AV kids and screams into it, "I fucking hate your school."
Now tell us how you really feel.
So then to the camera. But what was great was that
where was all this footage going? Was this going on like the local?
It was just going to the coach so he can watch over it. And it was funny because he came to afterwards. He was like, why was there a lady taking our camera and yelling at us that she hates our school? I was like, I heard her from the last time. Yeah, she doesn't like us. But what was great was that this time when they played Suffering, she was saying how she hates the school. I wish I saw her face because we the student newspaper came out the day of like the game, so everybody there had like a student newspaper. So near the team got announced, everybody put it up, so our entire fan section was just newspapers. So like they would do their team and everyone has that, and then our team came in and they would like crumble the papers and fucking go nuts and everything. Oh my god, they were the best.
I loved it when Ryder did that too, because our student section would do that all the time, and it was always a lot of fun.
I miss those.
It's funny you bring up reviewing footage. We're gonna bring this over to the marching band side of things. So,
oh boy,
it was Thanksgiving. It's the most crowded game of the year because all the alumni are back and everyone's whatever. Our field shows, the Pirates of the Caribbean, a phenomenal field show. I loved it, but we had a little mishaps. It was rainy that morning, and the field was very. It was pretty much chocolate pudding with a little bit of grass on it, so it was slippery. One of the sousaphone players, who is about half the size of the sousaphone itself,
of course they always are. It's never a bigger person for those things.
It was practically something out of like a crappy Adam Sandler movie. Like it was just a moment that was just.
Well, they fall over and they're like, "I'm joking." It's like you can just predict the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So he falls over. And then, but since they're all walking to the left, and you're supposed to stay focused towards the front to be uniform, so the sousaphones are all falling over each other. He was the one at the end. There's a trombone line walking backwards that now fall over this. And I'm on the front line, and I think it was like a cadence or something. Like all the trumpets were standing still because this was like an important part for us. And I see people turning around and staring, and I'm thinking to myself like, wow, we're doing really good. We got everyone's attention. People are paying attention to the marching band. Whoa. So after the game, I find out what happened. It was just one of the, or after the show, I find out what happened. I was like, oh. And so the next day, we always had a band parent that would film the show, just like for sports. We would review it, where we could improve, where we messed up, where it was good. My band director walks in and says, we're going to watch this, and then we're never, ever going to talk about it ever again. It turns out in his entire career, that was the first fall that he's ever had the marching band do, and I'm proud to say that I was there for it.
I was a part of the biggest fuck-up.
Actually, my biggest fuck-up, so a way the band would kind of squeeze...
I have a couple stories on that, too.
We're going to band fuck-ups? Fantastic.
Oh, yes.
Oh, good.
Just one time at band camp.
Thank you, everybody I ever tell band stories to.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Well, speaking of, actually,
I love you, Bob.
You know
I love
what?
you
That's
too, Brad.
relative. So speaking of, one way that we used to squeeze money out of our parents was to sell them CDs of the concert that they're going to go see. So, you know, they could buy the CD and just never listen to it or see it or look at it.
Of course. Just
I have DVDs of every single performance from marching band. I've never watched it, and they're all still
course.
shrink wrapped.
Of course, of course.
It's a quick $5-10 to get out of the parents.
Right. So my band director, I don't know if he rented it or whatever, but he would take the equipment and he would set it up for the room. And so in between each song, you would have a pause of silence before and after. So that's when they can cut the track.
Oh, no.
Fantastic.
See where this is going. I was feeling rather gassy that day. And I was trying really hard. And my band director, and this is all silent, mind you, because, you know, you don't want any noise. So he starts conducting like the 1-2 intro and then go. And as soon as he goes for the intro, it was 1, 2. And I ripped. The kid next to me is cracking up. I'm cracking up. I'm equal parts embarrassed and just, I can't believe this moment's happening. My band director looks at the ground and just points to the door. This kid and I walk out of the door. And as I'm walking out, I was looking at the other students. You either had people that were laughing and snickering or were blush and like just didn't know how to react to what just happened. Later, it turns out my band director thought I was faking it. And then when he found out it was genuine, he kind of also chuckled. He was just kind of one of those like, oh, well.
So I have a few stories, actually.
Fantastic.
So talking about falling and everything like that, my freshman year, I played trombone and marching band.
Right.
Sophomore, junior, and senior, I played baritone. So
baritone, what up?
yeah, buddy, but not baritone sax,
played
just regular baritone.
I forgot you played music.
Yeah, I was alto sax.
So I'm playing, and we were doing an Aerosmith show. Really cool, you know, all that kind of stuff. And during Love in an Elevator, we were making a heart with an arrow going through it. I'm going down the one side of the arrow. The bass drums are coming up the opposite side of the arrow.
Right.
I was having a very low note, so I was all the way out in 7th position. Mm-hmm. And as I'm all the way out, the one bass drum comes by and hooks my slide. And takes my slide with me.
Yikes.
So you just have half of a trombone.
Yes.
Did you just start singing it a cappella? Da 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 da.
Even worse, I'm just like...
Oh, so you continued to try to play.
I'm still trying to play, even though
maybe if you try really hard, the trombone will just connect itself, so that way the music will work. I admire you trying.
Freshman Bob was stupid, okay? And granted, 27-year-old Bob isn't much smarter.
Right.
It's all right. Fifth grade Brian with the alto sax would just play some notes that he knew during the song. So like we'd be playing a song and it'd be like, I don't know, fucking, because I'll do the first song I learned on alto sax would be like Can You Feel Love Tonight, so it'd be like so like I would just be intermittently playing because that's all I fucking knew, and I'm sitting there like, it looks like I'm playing, so whatever. And then like my band director would be like, Brian, you just played notes randomly. What the fuck are you doing? I'm like, oh, people heard that.
So fast forward to senior year, I was, I'd gotten pretty good with baritone and everything, and I had a duet with one of the mellophone players. Now this mellophone player, easily a quarter of my size, like super short, rail thin, like everything. So one day during band camp, him and I are sitting there, we're like, you know what?
God damn it.
Let's chest bump. It's going to be hysterical.
What could possibly go wrong?
So we did, and everyone loved it. Everyone thought it was funny, and we just kind of carried on. Well, fast forward to one of the last games of the season. It was just like your situation, where the field was chocolate pudding with grass on it. But this wasn't a game. It was a competition.
Oh, jeez.
Where we were getting judged. So we go in, we do our thing, and like we had this like little routine where we both do like a flip and then chest bump with our horns.
Right.
Looked really cool. We would always get points, and that's why our band director's like, yeah, keep doing it. Adds an element of danger. Ha, ha, ha. That kind of stuff.
Well, maybe
Which, by the way,
danger.
which is funny because the one judge actually said, wow, doing a chest bump with two guys of that size. Points.
That's slightly hurtful.
I'm like, all right, Dick, but I thought it was hysterical at the time.
No, and it still is hysterical.
And it haunts Bob to this day as he goes home and cries.
Take notes. There's no reason to get offended over everything. Continue.
Yeah. So him and I,
Triggered.
we go up, we do our flip, we look at each other, we're like, and we're just like, all right, come on, bud. We go up, we both slip at the same time. And scissor each other.
Oh, that's even better.
Scissor me timbers.
We fall down, do mud angels, just flat in the mud.
Oh, you just owned it at this point.
Oh,
You're
yeah, we're just like,
we already ruined the uniforms. Might as well.
all right.
Shaco's covered in mud.
We get back up and we go in. It was hysterical. We go back and we had the exact same thing that your director did. We come in on Monday. We're going to watch this once, and this will never happen again. Bob, John, you're not chest bumping ever again. We're like, all right. And we chest bump for every single show from that point on.
Of
just
course,
because
it's fucking high school, and stop taking it seriously.
The back of my uniform turned from orange to like a dark orange, and my pants were always like black
Brown.
and brown. But my cape somehow survived. 'cause
So
we had a
really,
Super
it
Bowl-
just looked like you shat yourself hardcore. It's
Exactly.
just neurovirus hit you bad, and
Like you did.
no.
exactly. I also got us
That's
kicked
what
out
my
of the
sheets
band
look like.
the band room once by farting. We
Nuclear warfare.
basically
Kim Jong-un can take notes.
me and three of my friends would always skip either lunch or study hall and come into the band room and say,
Lunch or
we're going to
band
go
hall.
practice, that kind of stuff. Which our version of practice would be sit in the band director's office and annoy him. But like hang out and like talk about music and all that kind of stuff.
Of course.
Until one day I found drumsticks and everyone else had drumsticks. We're sitting there, we play a roll of tape, and we played a game where we throw a roll of tape with drumsticks. Why not? Well, I had really bad gas that day. I reach over and I lean over, but I'm leaning over. My band director is reaching under a drawer.
Oh no.
I just shotgunned him in the face with a fart.
Oh man, dude, that's borderline
Bum, bum,
assault.
bum.
He literally goes to me, he's like,
Assault
Bob,
farts.
leave. Your band. Go away.
And you're banned.
And I'm like, oh, but he's like, Bob, leave. You three, leave. I'm like,
Your band director wasn't one to joke around, huh?
oh no, he joked around all the time.
I guess getting
After
shotgun.
a shotgun in the face by fart, I tell him to leave too.
To be fair, that also wasn't my first offense of farting in his office.
Everyone gets one. I didn't
That was, like,
fart,
number 10
but
for me.
we were playing with a rolly chair, and we were just kind of just running and jumping on it because, I don't know, high school. And, of course, I always have this amazing thing. Everyone does stupid things, but whenever I join for the stupid things, I always put in the game-winning kill. I jump on...
You always get caught.
No, well, it wasn't even that. I mean, I jumped on the rolling chair, and as I jumped on it, I don't know how I landed, but I broke one of the legs on the rolling chair and just went face first into the crowd.
We used to have a hand truck we called the ghetto Segway until someone tripped and broke and a wheel went flying and broke their teeth. We weren't allowed to play with the hand truck anymore.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Remember that same kid who fell with the sousaphone? We locked him in a sousaphone case. And just for the record, it was consensual. We were like, hey, person's name, like, can you fit? Can we just see if you fit in this? And we put him in there. It was only for a few seconds, so I'm sorry if it makes the story less funny, but just so I didn't bully people.
I have one better for you.
I was gonna say I bullied my band director's husband. We had a band director for a year, and she finally this was when she was like getting ready, like setting up her office or whatever. So they changed teachers. We had her for a year, but she brings in a picture of her and her husband.
Oh, jeez.
And her husband was just like big, bald, and just like
unfortunate looking.
Essentially, for those who played Zelda,
He was a Goron?
he looked like a Goron.
Ah, jeez.
So,
That's
since, you know, of
amazing.
course, everybody in band's a fucking nerd, we all learned, we learned Saria's song.
Really?
Yeah, it was like do 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 do. So we learned that,
Do.
and then so she comes in. We start playing that, and she's like, "Guys, what are you playing?" And she turns and looks at the picture of her and her husband, and it just has Darunia's face on it. It just has a picture of Darunia, because that's
of
the
the
song you have
characters?
to. He's the leader of the.
Oh yeah! Come on!
He's the leader of like
Yes.
the Goron bunch. You know
Goron
him well.
bunch.
You know him well. He's finally back to kick some tail. That's a DK rap for you. But that's the song you have to play. It's the song you have to play for him so that he dances. So he gives you like entrance to the Dodongo Cavern or whatever. So we just started playing that, and she's like, "Guys, why are you playing that? You guys are acting weird." And it's like a few minutes later, she looks back and she was like, "Who put a picture of something on my husband?" And she took it down, and it was like a month or two later, somebody actually printed out a picture of Darunia and like photoshopped, so like his arm was like this it was around her. It was so good. No, because we met him one day, we told him, and he loved it. He was all for this. He was like, "Oh, that guy looks great." He was like, "Hey, it looks cool."
So he didn't know what Zelda was, but
No.
he was like, I'm trying to be hip with the children.
No, he was like, "Oh, that guy looks buff and whatever. He looks tough." We're like, "Yeah, he is.
He is buff and tough.
He
I
is
will
buff
say.
and tough, and he's awesome.
He
and he's
eats
very
rocks.
proud. I mean, yeah, but
My senior year, I was part of the bad kids in band.
classic,
Which, you know,
classic Bob. One of the bad kids.
and
Two warheads at one time. It's crazy.
I had 3 black warheads one time.
It's amazing. I never shared my Wonder Ball.
wow.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
But we had dress up as your band director day as our senior prank. Super original.
It's pretty funny.
We all showed up dressing because our band director would always wear khaki pants, white button-down shirt, and a music tie. So we all showed up, khaki pants, white button-down shirt, music tie, and everything. It was great. It was funny until the one kid goes over to his wife, goes, "Hey, honey, how's it going?"
Oh, Jesus.
I'm Mr. Band Director. Look at me. And everyone's just like,
Ooh. Well, it is a senior prank, so it's not a prank until the faculty's pissed.
yes. But he thought it was funny how everyone walked, because we all coordinated, so we'd walk in at the same time.
It's all fun and games until you hit on someone's wife.
We all deliberately went in 5 minutes late, and we all walked in, "Hi, how's it going? Hey, how's it going?" Dressed exactly, which it was funny as hell. But, and then one of my original band directors, so we had 3 band directors in my 4 years of high school. One quit, another got fired because he got caught sleeping with a student.
Fantastic.
They're now married.
Just cuddle it.
It's fun.
Yes, he was like fresh out of college,
Well, glad it
and
worked
she was a
out.
senior. They're now married.
Was she
and
18?
I mean,
yes.
I guess if she's...
And which I thought,
Love is
which
love.
made it a little bit funnier, is that the color guard teacher head person
Right.
caught them in the act
Fantastic.
when he was, quote, playing dead and she was praying over his dead body.
Oh, jeez.
That's the excuse they went with?
No, that's what
Lord have mercy.
That's how she was describing it to everyone else. In other words, she was blowing him.
Well, I mean...
And then when we got
that's
the
how
new band director, he immediately threw out the
Are you
futon
trying
that
to
it happened
say
on.
that's not how you practice your brass instruments?
That's-
I mean, I
well,
thought that was just normal.
she was a flute player, though.
That's what they call it, woodwinds,
Mr.
everybody.
Band Director, why? Disclaimer, that never actually happened with me.
I was going to say, that's why they call them the woodwinds.
Hey! Oh, band puns.
Fun fact, somehow, and I don't know how I've done it, every single girl that I've ever dated played the flute at one point or another.
Fantastic.
I don't know how I do it.
You got a thing for the flutes.
Continuing this trend of sports,
Yes.
Bob.
Marching band's finally recognized as a sport. My varsity jacket is validated. Yes. Woo!
See, I never got a
technically-
jacket, but I got a
I
letter.
technically did 4 different sports that would qualify me to wear a varsity jacket. Never got one. But talking about sports, Bob,
I don't want to talk about this.
we are in a fantasy hockey league together.
We are.
World of Warcraft for hockey. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's straight up D&D for jocks. I played both D&D and fantasy sports.
I've
I'm
always
well
wanted
aware.
to play D&D.
D&D is a lot of fun.
By the way, we should totally play.
We
Yes.
should live stream it. We should do a pod D&D
I
cast.
am
I actually
so
listen
down.
to D&D
I actually want to
podcasts
try
a lot.
it.
They're actually a lot of fun.
Heroes and Halfwits,
Regardless,
phenomenal.
yeah. Also,
Did they come out with a
also
third season?
Dragons and Places. I don't know, but
I want to hear about this D&D hockey fantasy thing.
talking about fantasy hockey right now, we have a team in our league led by our wonderful friend Diana.
I know Diana. I saw her at the auto show.
We
Hi, Diana.
had her added to the team. You know, I was like, she probably won't do that well, but you know, we'll let her join.
Why? Because she's a girl.
No, we have another girl, and we have Glenn's Jess, and also my lovely fiance won our fantasy football
Are you
league.
trying to
this
say
year,
that Jess is owned by Glenn?
Glenn's,
probably gonna be this-
Glenn's Jess
I
instead of
said-
Justin's Jess?
I was being a social justice warrior.
Okay, great. No, I want to preface whenever I say Glenn's Jess is because we have two friends with
You
girlfriends
don't
named
have
Jess.
to. Anyone with half a brain knows what you're talking about.
Well,
That's
people-
where
Except
he
for our
said it.
listeners.
Except for people who don't know them, asshole.
Oh,
Regardless.
we're talking about ownership of women. Anyway, continue.
Regardless. So we have Diana in our league. She is 0-19. She has not won a single game this year.
I was really waiting for the story to be how she's just like completely destroying you guys.
No, that'd be Corinne in our fantasy football league.
It's too many
She only lost
fantasies.
2 games. She only lost 2 games. Fantastic.
I don't want to talk about it.
No, but
she
she
beat me in the
is
finals.
0-19. Though Diana
She's
might
playing golf rules.
she might get her first win this week against Bob, who I told at the beginning of the week, Bob, if you could really throw against Diana, that'd be great. Because Bob's only 1 game behind me in playoffs, and I'm playing Steve next week, and I know I'm gonna lose then. So you losing this, Bob, would be fantastic. He's down by 7.4. You may make Diana 1-19.
Diana, I'm your cheerleader. You got this.
Dan, I'm behind her too. Like, Diana, please.
2, 4,
Beat
6,
Bob.
8. Fantasy
Fun
hockey's
fact:
really
the goalie
great.
that
Go
was
Diana.
supposed to be starting is not starting. So both of my goaltenders are getting 0 points tonight.
Fantastic.
And goalies are where the biggest points come from.
Fantastic. Sorry.
Get out. So Bob might lose today.
Tragic.
And I'm beating Rob.
Me
all
and
in
the rest
all-
of the audience are riveted.
But it's more so. This isn't more so for the listeners. It's more so. Bob, thank you for throwing against Diana.
Shush.
Also, please lose against your brother next week as well. That would be great for me.
I would prefer not to. But what did we learn this
Audience,
week?
don't worry. I don't care either.
I have one more story I want to tell.
Okay.
Before we
Okay.
wrap up here. So
We're all, wait, what?
We're at 107 right now.
Really?
Yeah.
0.7, the Bronx.
Dobronk.
Ugh.
So last night, to set up this story, my fiance was being told by her students that
The live studio audience.
the live studio attendee, her students keep talking about this game Fortnite. And so Corinne comes home one day and she's like, all right, I need to play this game Fortnite to see what my kids are talking about. I was like, all right, I'll download it free. I downloaded it. We never really played it. Last night we were like, all right, well, you know, let's give it a shot.
Let's do it.
And she was like, all right, let me try it. I was like, here, well, let me play around, show you how it's like. I did 2 rounds where I died pretty quickly. And I was like, I'll do 1 more round. And as I started it, she goes, oh, you should make a maze. Because in Fortnite, you can build. So she was like, all right, let me make a maze. So I start building a maze in the game, and if you know anything about Fortnite, it's 100 people drop onto an island and be the last person standing to win. And you can build like forts and houses in this game.
And nights, yeah.
And knights. So I just start building a maze for 15 minutes. I'm off by myself, chopping down trees and building a maze.
Sure, this is Minecraft.
It's essentially a Minecraft survival mode. So
With guns.
Yeah, with guns. So all I have to my person, while everyone else has like decked out armor, stocked out guns that shoot like 80 bullets a
Got a
second.
fort.
I have a pickaxe, a basic AK-47, and 2 pump shotguns of
it a-
exactly the same.
Is it a pumpkin spice AK-47? Is
Yes,
that why?
that's why it's so basic. Its pH scale is 1. So that's all I have. I have no armor.
Wouldn't that make it acidic? I think 1 is acidic and
I think
10 would be basic.
14 would be the highest it goes. Dummy.
Okay, well, 10 would still be basic. I'd say it was the highest.
Look it up. I think base is 1. I could be wrong though. Regardless. So I start building a maze. For 15 minutes, I'm building a maze.
1 is increasingly acidic.
Okay, my bad. pH scale of 14. So I start
win.
building, this maze for 15 minutes. Like I'm staying within the circle because if you're outside the circle, you start dying quicker. So I'm building it. No one's coming by me, and I'm sitting. I built it so like there's like dead ends that you turn, but you can find where the end is, and I'm just sitting there waiting with the fucking shotgun, waiting for someone to cross my path.
I'm not gonna let him take my guns.
I look like a crazy person waiting at the end of this maze.
I'm not gonna let Hillary take my guns.
Also, people can destroy your like setups easily, so they could just run right through my maze. But I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna sit at the end of this maze and fucking wait for them. So I'm sitting there waiting until finally there's 5 people left.
Oh jeez, are they all enemies?
Yeah, well, everyone's enemy.
It's a free-for-all.
It's a free-for-all. Everyone's an enemy. So there's 5 people left. The circle starts getting smaller past my maze. I'm like, all right, I gotta ditch my maze. So I just start hiding. All I have is a close-range shotgun. I'm hiding. I look over. It's me. I'm one of 3 left. So take note, there's me, who has a basic shotgun with no attachments. Mm-hmm. And then there's the 2 fucking conquistadors over there that have giant forts shooting rockets at one another. I see these like giant pillars of like castles, and they're fucking shooting rocket launchers, throwing grenades on top of 2 hilltops. I'm sitting on the ground with my basic little pea shooter, fucking waiting for like fucking Pompeii to fall here. Finally, one of them kills the other one. Oh no, he jumps off trying to get down, ends up killing himself.
That's like climactic.
So he jumps off, kills himself. It's me and this other guy. So it starts getting smaller and smaller, and of course the circle of pants right where his fucking castle is. So he's sitting on top pretty in his castle. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to destroy the bottom of it and have it all fall down and then get him right there. So I find like a pump shotgun. It's another shotgun at some point, but it's different than the other one I have. So I'm using that. I start trying to platform my way up, but the hill I'm on is very steep. So my character keeps falling. I almost fall out of the circle and die. I eventually make my way back up. I get to the top of the circle. I'm crouching, and then I look up. It's like I'm playing fucking Shadow of the Colossus. There's this huge tower in front of me, and I'm like, all right, here I go. I'm going to destroy it all at the bottom. It's going to come crumbling down. I start walking over slowly, and then I see the guy's at the bottom of his fucking castle, changing up, like setting up traps at the bottom. I sneak up behind him, put 2 fucking rounds on his back. I end up winning the entire thing. You look at it, it shows I have victory. I'm number 1. I killed 1 person, took 2 shots, and all I did for the entirety of this game was build a maze by myself for 15 minutes.
I can actually best you on that. My first ever first place win in PlayerUnknown's Battleground, or PUBG.
Which is basically the same exact game.
Exact same game, but you don't build anything. It's less cartoony.
Yeah.
I won a game without killing or firing a single bullet.
I did the same exact thing. I did that also in PUBG.
I went ultimate passive mode. And it was my brother and I. My brother was like, you know.
Oh, you didn't do it as well?
Yeah.
I did it with Justin.
My brother's like fiddling around doing stuff. I'm literally just like, I get to drive. Yay. Like, I'm like the annoying little brother in this situation where I'm like, where he's like, okay, here, have this controller. You can play.
He's like, oh, come on, I gotta get to Pachinki. And you're like, yay.
Video games are fun.
And literally I'm just like, wee, hill, ramp, yay, whatever. My brother dies. And it's down to me and like 4 other people. And now the circle is shrinking down to this little lighthouse right outside of a bridge. You know, 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, whatever. It's down to me and another guy, and I cannot find him. So I'm at the edge of the cliff, and there's a little space down below. Well, after a certain amount of time, the circle just closes up, and the last person to die wins. So the circle closes up. Apparently the guy was down below and was trapped down there. So as the circle's closing in, he just dies, and it's like, you win. Didn't fire a single bullet the entire game. Didn't see anyone the entire game, and I'm just like... I participated.
I have a very similar story to that. It was Justin and I, and we dropped at Military Island,
which is horrifying to be in.
You know, a very horrifying point, because that's where everybody drops, because that's where all the best stuff is. So I dropped out there with Justin. We went to the houses off to the side, and we got some stuff, and it got down to like the final 10. We don't see a single person, but we're decked to the teeth. We're essentially swimming underwater, peeking back up to get air every now and then, but going back down underwater. Start swimming, waiting for it all to go down. It's us and another 2 people. Well, it's 4 people left, so it's us 2 and probably some other 2 people. We're literally under the bridge between Military Island and the main island. We're like treading water there, waiting, and then we see the two people are on top of a lighthouse, but the circle is close in behind them, so they can't come down the hill. They have to jump down. So they jump down, but they both get knocked down due to fall damage. Justin and I win. I have the pictures of the both of us. I'll put it up. That says we have 0 damage done to anyone, 0 kills, and it's just the two of us fucking shredding in water. Didn't fire a single shot of anything, and we won the game passive mode. And I was like, I never have to play another game of Pug ever again.
Oh, it was amazing.
It's the best.
It's
feeling.
the best feeling in the world.
You don't do anything, and the fucking circle gets them.
That's funny.
So
what have you gents learned this week as we close out another wonderful cast?
not to get shotgunned in the face by a fart by Bob.
That's a good one. What about Bob? What have you learned?
I learned that everyone basically has had the exact same marching band experience, no matter where you go or what you play.
Or
everyone has done the same thing.
Band, yeah, everyone's had that. I learned that I am going to be the best man at Brian's wedding when he gets married to the live studio audience.
That is amazing.
Right?
Congratulations.
I thought that was pretty cool. Thought that was pretty rad.
It was alright.
See that DHS? Their cat? We're almost family now. DHS.
I don't think it works like that.
I think it does. DHS, it means Dickhead Stumpy because they have a 3-legged cat and it's a dick.
Her name's Evie.
Dickhead Stumpy.
She's kind of
She
adorable.
also doesn't even have a stump.
DHS putting in the overtime in the lid box.
This has been Shootin The Shibby.
This has been Shootin The Shibby. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you next Sunday, hopefully, if we all have the same catchphrase.
I like to